we are going to do some presencing of the voice. And let's just grab tea as we always do. I have my Queen Bee mug here as we're talking about stuff that I touch on inside of the Powerfully Feminine Intensive Training. And we're going to do some work here today to show you how to connect the voice. And I'm going to talk to you about the word talking also, okay, what you say. So if you're there, say hello. But we are diving in pretty quickly today because I really have, this is an important topic. So the use of the voice, the use of the word has a lot to do with presencing, okay? Bringing presence through the voice. And so as we sink in, I'm going to get you to close your eyes because we are going to do a bit of a meditation. And this is really what I would call an embodiment practice, an embodiment meditation. So I want you to be aware of yourself. We start with the full length of the breath when we breathe in from the base of the body all the way to the top of the head all the way down to the base of the body. Full length of breath. We learn to shallow breathe above the heart, and this pushes us back into our head, pushes us back into the false modes, the false masculine, the false feminine, man mode, princess, maid, etc. The queen is embodied. She takes the breath fully into the body from the top of the head to the base of the body. And then we're going to catch this Osiris effect, I call it, where you notice that your consciousness is spread out, has been dispersed onto other things, into other places, and just catch where your thoughts might be taking you, as in they may be on social media or problems or concerns that you have. They may be on resting on your children or some situation that is going on with your partner or your business. Something feels off in your business and you're pulled out. Your consciousness is pulled out into these different domains. Now this is different than the idea that the feminine has spread consciousness. It's that your awareness has been caught in these things and it's pulling you out of yourself. That's very different. And so catching this sense of wherever your consciousness, your awareness is spread, and then when we start to gather it in, like pulling in the fish in a fishing line, we allow ourselves to pull our consciousness back into the center of the head. And then we catch it over here, and then we take our time. It's an act of love that Isis did with Osiris as she collected all of his parts across the creation. And we do it ourselves too. We catch where the awareness is caught, and then we pull it back in as an act of love, gentleness. We pull it back toward the center. And again, catching all of those places that your awareness has been dispelled, distributed around you in your life. And we bring it back to the center of the head as an act of love, as an act of self-care. And as you're doing this, you're going to be assessing the percentage masculine and feminine that we often do here. And where you may have been resting, what the percentage was before we started the practice. And then starting to feel, hopefully already we're starting to get this sort of handover more toward the feminine. See, as you bring your awareness back into yourself, and then we're about to take it down into the body, I'm going to get you to put one hand over the heart center to start with. And we do that because we start to take that centered awareness down into the heart. And by putting the hand here, we're also, again, an act of self-love as we bring the awareness down into the heart. A few nice big long breaths as you, the warmth of the hand helps you to feel the heart. Feel sensations, as in the reveal method. Okay, you feel sensations in the heart. I feel warmth in my heart center and a pulsing energy. And then let us take that down. We move the hands over to the belly area at the very least. And we can even do a little rub and massage of the belly. And if you want to do the same down lower toward your womb and the pussy, then do that too. What needs your presence and attention right now? You can't fully see that, but I'm actually cupping my hand over my pussy at the moment as a way to presence her a little bit more, okay? And allow that awareness, that centered awareness now to drop down toward belly, the pelvis, and the pussy. And this one should definitely start to take you more toward the feminine. Love, attentiveness, and presencing of your pussy is going to bring you into your feminine power. Okay, good. And we're going to get ready to return. And you by all means might feel like you need to keep your hand on one of your energetic centers. So let us start here today, my loves. So what I'm talking about today is empowered voice, really. And I can promise you that a queen has an empowered relationship to her voice and an empowered relationship to what she says. Okay? And the what she says is a more externalized part of that, which is why I want to do presencing practices with the voice today, but I will finish today talking a bit about what you say. And so, you know how I work with feminine power, it's about power from the inside out. And it's not just some nice marketing catchphrase. I differentiate myself from others teaching about feminine power because a lot of it is on the surface, and without the inner peace, it's going to render itself falling apart, fragile, like a house that doesn't have foundations, if the inner feminine piece is not actually embodied. Now, this work on voice power is a learning of how to presence your voice very, very consciously, okay? In my spiritual work, it's called voice stream. So the stream of your voice is very consciously connected to something, okay? So if I'm honest with you, I am touching on some of the priestess work here. It is not the promise of this training. The promise of this training is becoming a queen. And yet the thing is, the queen and the priestess do work together. And the queen, when she's really standing in her queen, has a very empowered relationship to her voice and a very empowered conscious relationship to what she says, to the word, it's called. As in the beginning of Genesis, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. As in God spoke out the creation. God or goddess spoke the creation. So this concept of the Word is very, very powerful. Now, Needless to say, we get to share the word by typing. People share the word and share speech through writing books, through that kind of thing. But the thing about embodiment and the word is it's when you're speaking it, when you're saying it, when the word is resonating with your body, with your energy, or with your spirit, okay? So let's actually do some practices together, okay? So I want you to practice these at home, but I want us to do these together today. So what we're going to do is we're going to presence the voice by connecting the voice to our heart center. And then we're going to connect our voice to our pussy. And then we're going to connect our voice more to an holistic sense of our spiritual self. Okay, so 3 ways I'm going to teach you today to presence the voice. Okay, presence your voice. Now, I have 22 odd years training of voice presencing, and it's also why I do a lot of video work and video training, because a lot of the transmission of the feminine arts comes through my voice to you. And of course, this takes different proportions when we're actually in the room together, and we will do that eventually with the Powerfully Feminine live work. But allow my voice to reach you. And what that means is allow you to receive my voice as I'm teaching you these today. Okay? Good. So close your eyes if you want to. I may keep my eyes open just so that I can engage you with my eyes open. But let's start again by placing the hand over the heart center. And we're not going to say words at first. We're just going to make sounds. Okay? So closing your eyes. And what I want you to do is to, because your hand is presence in your heart, the warmth of the hand and the reflective nature of the hand facing inwards is allowing you to feel your heart center more. Now, you may internally want to acknowledge the sensations, as in the first phase of the reveal method. So again, I feel warmth in my heart and a pulsing that is expanding my heart envelope, my heart energy. Now, what I want you to do is to start to make a sound from the heart through your voice and out. Voice flow, okay? From your heart through your voice and out. Voice flow. I will start and you can chime in at your own pace. So keep going as I speak over, because I'm also connecting my spoken voice to my heart at the moment. So let that reach you too. Now, this is not about volume, it's not about pitch. It's about the flow from the heart through the voice. I could pitch it higher. It's about what it's connected to. So again, making some sound from the heart. It may be quiet, it may be strong. The volume may be strong because something needs to move from the heart out of the voice. It may be really, really, really soft because that's what the heart needs to express. Or that as you're learning how to do this, you can use your voice to have an effect on somebody else. For example, somebody's in grief or they're in trauma around you. You can use the voice connected very strategically to both connect to that person or to help them ground themselves, to help them know that your presence is with them and that they are not alone. Okay? And then we'll have a silent phase. And the silent phase is allowing yourself to feel the reverberations of the connected voice. Empowered voice, such an important part of standing in the true feminine. Such an important part. And when we're in a world where this is unconscious, as so much else is unconscious, this empowered use of the voice and the word, I cannot overestimate. And we're going to do voice connection to either, you can choose, you can either just put the hands over the belly region in general, both hands, or you can cup over the pussy in between your legs, between the thighs, whatever feels like what you want to do right now, what your desire is, okay? Let it come from desire, like something wants you to do that. So we're going to cup the lower centers. And once again, closing your eyes, even if my eyes are open so that I can conduct the practice. And it's not just the hands. Let the breath follow the hands, as in breathing down into the depths. And I'm already connecting my voice down into the pussy. Now, from first blush or without training, somebody wouldn't know the difference in my voice. They'd just hear Candice speaking, right? But as you are getting trained here, you may notice something different coming through my voice and speaking to a different part of you, okay? This is the power of the voice. The voice can affect another person. All right, so we're going to do some sound again from the pussy, from the womb. And just again, just making a or an ah sound. So keep making the sounds as I speak to you from this different place. So the sound is coming from the pussy up into the voice and out. So even as I'm speaking, I'm connecting my voice very deliberately to my pussy. And the thing you might catch is, we often think of pussy as sexual or sexuality. It's not sexuality, it's life force. It's creativity, it's the feminine. You don't get more feminine than the pussy. And so the way you make sound from here, even laugh from here, all of these things are about sensual, embodied presence. And what I want you to catch is there's a feedback loop. When you're doing this as a practice, your voice is also speaking back to the pussy. So there's this feedback loop where she gets presence and she gets felt, and it's a bit like the microcosmic orbit practice in that sense, in that there is a flow and a circulation. So as I've been making the sounds, my pussy's tingling more. There's this pulsing behind it. There's a heat and a warmth and a almost like an excitement, an awakening in my pussy as I'm making the voice and as I'm speaking from there. So what often needs to happen, if you feel like you can't really connect into the lower centers in your pussy, you need to let emotion come up. You need to let grief move up, or anger or rage, or any emotion that needs to move in order that you can sink deeper. The work on the voice, the work on embodiment, in fact, the work on desire cannot be real unless you allow the emotions to move. And let's do a final phase. I'm going to get you to put your hands in an open position like this, as we are going to learn to connect to our spirit. Now there's a whole training to become a priestess, and I'm not going to assume you know exactly what this means, but just a sense of your light above you, your sense of your presence of the divine. Doesn't matter if it's the divine or your divine presence. And once again, we're going to connect the voice to that, to this bigger sense of you, this bigness of you, this part that is always and has always been connected to the light and always seeks that return, which is why my hands are pointing upwards, because I'm seeking to constantly connect myself, my voice, my light at any stage throughout the day. And I'm going to make sounds from there. Sound from your presence above, through the voice and out through the voice flow. And keep making sounds as I speak over that, so that you can receive that from me, through me, empowering your voice to be connected to what she wants to be connected to at any moment, at any time. And we'll go to a silent phase, letting yourself feel the effects of the connected sound in the body. You should be a whole load of sensations going on. We've connected all over the place. The voice, a lot of awakening should be happening right now, or could be. And you identify the sensations by feeling the body, not by thinking or wondering from here. Remember, we're empowered from the neck down. Now, and remember, what we get to do here in the Powerfully Feminine Sisterhood is to share everything. Everything's welcome. The good, the bad, the ugly, the judgments, whatever. You need to get it out and share it with others in this as an example of a safe environment. Well, I grew up in a household where nobody spoke the truth, where everybody clamped down their anger and their rage and their hurt, and where nobody had the courage to speak what was going on for them. And what did that create? That created a household environment in which everybody was like a satellite. There was no sense of community or humanity, and it's very hard to care for somebody when they don't share with you their truth, right? They don't share with you through their voice. And so there was a lot of lockdown. Even while my father was dying, nobody was sharing. I would cry myself to sleep at night because I had no other way to express what was going on because of the agreements in the house. There was agreements to not share things outwardly. Okay, so the thing I want to finish up with is about the use of the word and language. Now, this is very, very dear to my heart, and it is a descriptor of something that I would describe as true mastery in terms of standing up in your queen, is very precise, clear use of language, as well as understanding the power of agreements and promises. Okay, so the use of language and precision around that can come over time, but let's start with something that is more ever present for us. When we make promises or agreements with people, whether they're partners or clients or coaches, mentors, friends, your community, because when I say something, I mean it. So I want you to understand that people that say something with either no intention of following through on it, or that they're cool with breaking it, that to me is complete false feminine, false masculine territory. That is a line that I want you to start to observe in your life around you. And people who are willing to break promises to you also are breaking promises to themselves all of the time. So what I say is, say what you mean what you say. Don't make a promise if you really know you can't keep it. And I'm not saying this is some intellectual thing, or I've got a charge around it, or I get hurt when someone doesn't follow through on a promise. This is a spiritual training I'm giving you right now. The word means something. What we say means something. So be very aware of what you say. Be aware of what you say. And it matters when you make promises and agreements. It matters. And when you break it, you are doing something inside of your consciousness that tells divine connection, and it definitely tells other people around you to not trust you. Okay? When you make agreements with yourself and promises to yourself and you break it, you stop trusting yourself. And you're also exuding something around you where people don't trust you either. So I'm using this because this is low-hanging fruit. The use of precise language and clarity over time, well, that will come. But just don't say something if you don't mean it. And if you make a promise, and be aware that if you're saying something that it's a promise or agreement, then for God's sake, follow through on it. Okay? See, I'm not even saying anything and I'm passing something through my voice. What part of me did that come from? You see, and as you learn how to do this with yourself, you're going to start to see it in other people and go, wow, their voice is really disconnected, or it's unpresenced, or wow, that totally came from their belly, or wow, that person's got a beautiful heart because I can feel it through their voice. There's so much to learn, my love. So big lesson today. Please re-listen to it if you need to, and add either in this stream or in fact just in the normal stream your experiences you're having with your voice. And I'm sending so much love from my heart to you. Big giant kiss. Lots of love to you, and I will see you back here next week. Bye bye for now.